All right, guys, so I know a lot of you wanted to see the exact weapons platforms, and I think I've reviewed almost all of these at some point. But for the rifle, I used the Cobalt Kinetics. I am sponsored by Cobalt Kinetics, so that's why I'm shooting this rifle this year. It actually shoots very, very well for me. I would probably want to change the optic out, but I'm going to go over every piece, part, and component of the weapons that I actually use. So you've got the rear stock here, which there's a ton of screws in here. I make sure that everything's Loctited. It has the Pro Buffer system. I did switch out the trigger to a Hyperfire. Whether it's a Geissele or anything else, I'm not a big fan of other triggers. I double other triggers quite often, any type of match triggers that are single stage. And so doubling in a match is a bad thing. People can get DQ'd or disqualified for that. And so the Hyperfire doesn't do that to me. I can also adjust up or down on these little index notches. So if it's a stage that I need to shoot very quickly, for me, what I can do is move that trigger shoe up a little bit, and it's a little quicker than that longer throw towards the bottom. It does have a 45-degree safety. I have switched out the charging handle to an AXTS Raptor. The mount, I'm pretty much exclusively using the JP, the cantilever mount. I love it. I don't like quick releases for competition, the way we throw these things in barrels and everything else. Has 5 torque screws in here, it has 20 minutes of angle built into it, has 6 screws per cap. This is topped off with a Leupold Mark 6. It's a great combat optic. It's not the best for 3-gun because the reticle is so thick, it's a front focal. And so by the time you zoom into 6 power, you've got a really fat dot, real fat stadia lines, which is great for a man-size engagement, but for a little tiny 2 MOA steel, it's a little tough. Big shout out to WTF SoCal. This is on loan to me from him, and so I can't say enough about him. I mean, I wanted to try the optic out. It's a great optic, but it's not for me. I'm gonna have to purchase something else. Now, this does have one limitation. It has this large magwell, which the large magwell is great, but you can't get a D60 in it. And so, like on the car stage, the D60 would have been perfect. Most guys were running D60 magazines on that, the Magpul, but I cannot modify that enough to be able to get a D60 into this magwell. We actually had one that was modified. It wouldn't fit. And you guys saw I had to bring it out of the window and up through the window with that 40 round extended. It was just a pain. So a little limitation there. Now I took the Faxon barrel out, nothing wrong with the barrel, but I had ordered it with a 16-inch barrel or with an 18-inch barrel. It came in with a 16. I don't shoot 16-inch barrels. I know a lot of guys will say, well, why not? It's faster, it's more maneuverable. Look, it's great, but what I'm noticing a lot, especially in 3-gun, they're getting these targets out further and further. They're making the targets smaller themselves. I like 18-inch barrels. I can deal with the extra 2 inches of going through a port and not have to worry about giving up any velocity or anything else. I'm a big fan of 18-inch barrels. Whatever you choose is up to you, and you can do any of these matches with 16-inch barrels. Not a problem whatsoever for most people, but that's what I use for the rifle. As far as magazines, I exclusively use Lancer magazines. You guys probably noticed that from the match videos. I'll use a Magpul, but I don't like the Magpuls because I like translucent mags. I like being able to see the round count of what I've got in here specifically. So on the last stage that I shot on Sunday, the first 20 rifle bullets were going to be on paper up close. I don't need accuracy. I need what we call in the competition world burner rounds. Okay, I need to sling lead at these 10 targets with 2 rounds each. I'm not going to miss more than likely, and I don't need pinpoint accuracy. So what I'll do is I'll load my 77s on the bottom. They're TMKs, so I can see the green tips here, and I can make sure that I've got 20 stacked up top, especially if I'm running an extension or something like that. So as I was running through there, I'm burning those 20 trash rounds, the 55 grainers, and then when I got up on the wall and it was time to settle in, you guys saw me go 1 for 1, I'm using a good competition match round for that. And I like the translucent mags. I like the metal feed lips. I don't have to worry about any swelling of the mag and having issues with that. So Lancer magazines is what I use for the rifle. Now let's move on to the shotgun. Okay, so on the shotgun, this is a rifle. This is a shotgun that I've had for a really long time, okay? I got it as a factory shotgun, and then it's a Benelli M2. And what I did was I sent it off to Mike Cyrus. Mike Cyrus is a premier shotgun builder. He doesn't do a lot of work anymore. for anyone that's not shooting pro or anything like that. He doesn't take on new customers or anything, but he makes one heck of a shotgun. What he does, he goes in, he opens up the port, which I had already opened it up, but he does it really, really well. He lightens the bolt and everything else. I know I've reviewed the Taran Tactical, the M1. I did not like that shotgun. Nothing wrong with the shotgun, it just was not as smooth shooting as this. This has the ComfortTech stock. The M1 did not have it on there. Yeah, it looked a lot more fancy, but I don't care about fancy, I'm caring about functionality. It does have a TMT logo on here. Used to do some shooting for them, TMT Tactical out of Morganton, and Jim Toner, those guys are super, super good guys. They did some work to it as well beforehand, and I had it Cerakoted green. I liked it, worked great, but one of the things we added, and this is very important, is a Ruger 1022 flip-up iron sight. And so this is milled out with a dovetail. I think it's a 60-degree dovetail, and I usually keep it in the down position unless I'm shooting slugs, which this is like a rifle. I mean, anything out to 100 plus yards you guys saw from Pro-Am, this thing is just, it's all over it, and I don't worry about slug targets. You see a lot of people lose points because of slug targets. You can shoot a 3-gun without it if you're good at reading the bead and the line, but this just makes it so much easier. It's adjustable for your windage, for your elevation, and then I just run a big dot sight on the front up here. It's like it's a screwed in one at the top, and it gives me a nice clean bead. This does have the Nordic extension tube with the clamp and the Nordic bolt here. That's pretty much it on the shotgun. It has the trigger work, so it's a lightened trigger, but the Mike Sowers did that. And then you guys know that I put the new system on here that basically auto loads. There's 2 companies that make it. You have MOA Precision that doesn't. I think you have to send it off and they'll work it. And then you have this by Jay Kinney. And for those that didn't watch the Pro-Am, let me show you how this works. Now, initially when I put this in here at Pro-Am, I had some issues. I've been able to get all those issues resolved. There were some stuff on the internet talking about rounding some pieces off and things like that. That's been done. This thing runs pretty much 100%. The 2 jams that I had during the Memorial 3-gun were caused by the ammunition that I was using. This shotgun really likes estate ammunition, cheap estate. I have no issues, but I ran out of estate, so I had to use Rio, and I like Rio, but this shotgun doesn't like Rio because when the holes are fired, they're a little too long to clear all the time. But anyway, that's what happened there. But when you fire a Benelli and your last round, what's going to happen is your bolt lock's open. You should never run your shotgun dry, okay? It should always be running. But with the Jay Kinney lifter, if I run it dry, all I've got to do is throw in 2 rounds. Now there's nothing in here. And so if I run it dry, all I have to do is take my shotgun rounds. As soon as I load them in, watch this. It loaded a round and closed automatically. I didn't have to worry about the silver button. I didn't worry about losing any time. I just throw them in there and I'm good to go again. So that's the shotgun platform. It also has an Arredondo extended bolt release. I'm not a big fan of this actual bolt charging handle. Smaller ones actually work better because it's less reciprocating mass, and then it does have the match saver, which actually saved me on that last stage, stage 1, on the 3rd day of the Memorial 3-gun. Let's talk about the pistol. All right, so onto the pistol. I do still have and shoot the Infinity, but for 3-gun, if it's a 3-gun event, I am going to be shooting an Akai Custom. This holster is by G-Code, and it basically locks onto that wheel. With these, it drops in, you press the button, it's locked in. I don't have to worry about it going anywhere. And then I do have positive retention. I can run, jump, do whatever I want to. I don't have to worry about this pistol coming out and getting DQ'd or disqualified from a match because my pistol came out. It's very fast. I'm just pressing down on this with my thumb, and as soon as I do that, the hood clears and it comes straight out, okay? It's very fast. I had to do a little bit of modification to widen up that holster, but it's a great system, great platform. I've already reviewed this pistol by Shea Akai and Akai Customs. This pistol costs about $6,000. It's full DLC'd in the Coyote Tan. It is a stroked pistol. It has very, very aggressive stippling, okay? Stroked means that it goes back that little bit further, just like that. It helps with the recoil. It has a bull barrel. It is based off of a 2011, has a very, very light trigger, very short reset. It has a PT Phoenix Trinity Evo grip that is crazy textured, okay? You this is a cheese grater, plain and simple, but I don't have to worry about the gun slipping. I don't have to worry about readjusting my grip. Once I've established it, that's it. It is good to go. I did have this ordered with a light rail in case I shoot a low light match or anything like that. I have a different holster where I can throw a light on here, and I have that option. Also have the STI enlarged magwell, and other than that, it is just blacked out rear with a fiber optic front. I usually run a green, but here lately just red works, whatever color works. So that's the pistol. I run Defender ammunition. Defender's a big sponsor of me and my shooting. So I run the 69 grain, the 77 grain, and then the 9mm. I will jump back and forth between 124 and 147. Here lately, I've been running a lot of 124. Those guys at Defender have worked up a load that's really, really nice. They actually have some other ones that I'm testing right now, and you know, call it a bunny fart load or whatever. For 9mm, you don't really have to worry about major. You just got to be able to knock down the steels. So as long as you are shooting somewhere around 130 power factor, you're usually good to go. You just need to make sure that your pistol will cycle it. This one will, because it has a crazy light recoil spring. But that aggressive stippling, I mean, it is so easy to do a chamber check, so easy to reload. I mean, there's nothing here. So that's the equipment that I use. And of course, we have to mention the X-Ring Custom. I make these, also these little screws here, but those aren't being sold. And if you want one of these extended magazine releases, I only do them in DLC black in either 17-4 stainless or titanium. And you can order those on the X-Ring Customs on, it's actually X-Ring Custom on Etsy.com. So you can get them from there. And then I also have some with Stage Zero Shooting Supply. Donnie Flo's a great guy, sells a lot of stuff to 3-gunners, has a business. You can go online and order them directly from him as well. But that's everything. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this series and saw everything that I took to the match. This is comprehensive and as quick as I can talk. Hope you guys have a great week. Take care, like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.